Know that we can see the skyline of Chicago across Lake Michigan from 60 miles away, and based on the Earth math, the entire skyline of Chicago should have been blocked by Earth curvature. How's that working? Hey, did you guys know we can see mountains from 273 miles away, and based on the globe Earth math, they should be blocked by 3 miles of vertical Earth curvature, yet we can see the mountains. How does that work? Oh man, I'm just going to look at this guy. I don't have to be able to answer the question. I'll just make fun of him. In a world where no one knows what the world is. Hey, just so you guys, if the Earth's a ball with a radius of 3,959 miles, it has to curve at 8 inches per mile squared. Just basic geometry. It doesn't do that though. We went out and tested the surface of the Earth. See, in 2015, the top 2 Google terms in the world were Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And right behind that was flat Earth. It exploded because we all found out about the Antarctic Treaty, where every country in the world signed a treaty and said you're not allowed to go to Antarctica or to explore that region. That means China and Russia and the United States, all these enemies. They put their differences aside so they could sign a treaty and say it's illegal to go there. So then we started testing the Earth. We're like, you know what? We'll go see if it's actually a ball or not. And we did. Guess what happened? The government came out and censored it. And admitted in Congress they censored flat Earth. Why would they have to do that if Earth is just some archaic, stupid, easily disproven idea? Because it's not disproven, and you can actually prove that it is flat. There you go. So we actually went and tested the surface of the Earth. You can do it yourself. I bet if you just say the world's not flat, that makes it true. Yeah. So then why did I see the mountains from 273 miles away that should be blocked by 3 miles of Earth curve? Since the world is not flat, how does that work on a globe? No answer. What a shocker. So, since the world is not flat, why did we see the mountains from 273 miles away that should be blocked by 3 miles of Earth curvature? That doesn't make any sense, bro. Hey, did you know you can see the skyline of Chicago across Lake Michigan from 60 miles away, and the globe Earth should be completely blocked by Earth curvature? That's impossible on a ball. That's impossible. So then how do we see the mountains then? How do we see the mountains?
Is that all you have?
When I pulled the camera out, did I zoom in through the curvature of the Earth? I can keep going with the globe a million ways. Is that all I have? Yeah. How much time do you have? It's called the second law of thermodynamics. You can't have pressurized systems sitting adjacent to a near perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr because pressure would fill the available space. Second law of thermodynamics. I debate aerospace engineers, they can't answer that question. Yeah, the government lied. It's not a big deal. Hey, when does the government? The Earth is not a spinning ball in a vacuum. They lied. They signed an Antarctic treaty. They said it's illegal to go past here. Every major world country signed it.
Shut it down when the government put us on lockdown. Shut that right down.
I'm against lockdowns. I didn't take the vaccine either, so.
Yeah, people think they're woke because they won't take the vaccine. People think they're.
I'm not being filmed.
People think they're woke because they won't take the vaccine, but they believe they live on a ball floating in outer space.
Yeah, we'll do, bro. No, of course not. Of course not. The government lies, and the world's proven it lies. You agree with my right to say? Much love, bro. I know it sounds crazy. When I first heard the flat Earth, I thought it was the craziest thing I've ever heard. So I understand. But it's not a spinning ball. Oh, you have a question? Yeah, Eddie Bravo's the man. Yeah, I respect anyone that's got the ball. Yeah, Sanford Lee, yeah, 10-4. Yeah, Eddie Bravo's cool, man. Yeah. Anyone that has the balls to speak out about this, because normally they get attacked and demonetized. And they have all their money pulled. Right, cool, man. And dude, yeah,
I got one.
cool. It takes a while. It's a lot of info. It's like a whole new paradigm. Cool, yeah. Much love, bro. Much love.
It has nothing to do with the surface of the Earth, though.
Oh, I need
How
to
to
turn
measure
this
the
on.
ceiling.
Oh,
We
it is
actually
on.
weren't talking to you.
Do I not have
Yeah, I'm talking about my little omnidirectional.
Actually, no.
You're standing right here and I can hear you.
So yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but they lied about the Earth. I'm glad you guys came out today to learn about it, though. So glad that we could agree on the gathering. So the Earth is not what they're playing with.
She wants to
right
talk
now,
about it loud enough
because it
where
would
you
have
can
to
hear,
curve
but
at a
then
certain
the
rate that it goes
back.
into.
You don't have a
See,
right
it's so
to
crazy. If I put fluid in a level, because fluids always find their level, and that's how I build things. I was 70% of the surface of the Earth, ocean water.
That was the Robert Downey.
If anyone's got any questions that you can stump the stupid flat earther, feel free to ask me, because you can. I debate aerospace engineers. And astrophysics professors and astrophysicists and physicists, right? 5v1, all the PhDs, line them up, I'll take them out. No big deal. Yeah, Dave Weiss is my personal
The same government that lies to you about vaccines and lockdowns is lying to you about the earth.
I know, they're scared. Dave Weiss is my friend, bro. Flat Earth guy. Have you ever seen it? Flat Earth Sunday Classic. Yeah, there is every question you can think of. But yeah, Dave Weiss is a legend deep inside the rabbit hole. Which when he found out about Flat Earth, he thought it was the craziest thing he'd ever heard too. He actually kicked people off his show that would even bring it up. But then he finally swallowed his pride and decided to look into it. Once you look into it, you will no longer unsee the truth.
What's that?
Right? So it sounds crazy, but that's the way the Matrix went into doing it. So anyway, water always finds its level. How is 70% of the surface of the Earth ocean water that's level on a ball? How do you have pressure sitting next to a vacuum? You guys know what a vacuum is? See, it's a misnomer that vacuums suck, right? Actually, pressure fills the vacuum instantaneously, because that's a seek equilibrium. High pressure goes to low pressure. You cannot have a vacuum of space. It's literally impossible. So where they claim they're going, they're lying. That's convenient, though, because everything they show you is cartoons, and they actually admit that they're just cartoons. You would think that in 2021, whenever we have crazy advanced technology, and we have 4K and 5K and iPhone 12s and smart computers, and we have smart cars that can park themselves, that we'd certainly be able to get pictures of the Earth from space now, right? Well, NASA admits we can't. It's too dangerous to get that far away, and that they're just computer-generated images. So in 2021, NASA's own website admits we don't have real pictures of the Earth from space, that they're just computer-generated images, composite images, that do artist renditions. That's kind of weird. So supposedly we went to the moon in 1969, we just can't go back yet. Because we destroyed the technology, and it's a painful process to go back.
Hey guys,
and
Earth
now
is
they're
flat.
brainwashing your children to school and telling them that they live on a tiny speck of dust in this ever-expanding universe of nothingness, and they came from apes. Yeah, they're telling your children that they came from apes. You didn't come from animals, you're not an animal, you're special, you have a spirit, you have a soul. Yeah, Yeshua is the Son of God.
Jesus Christ is the Son of God.
That's
I
true.
have it in my heart.
That's absolutely true. And Yeshua also came to the earth. It didn't tell everyone that the Hebrew cosmology was wrong, which says the earth is flat, stationary, and has a firmament over top of it, just like the scriptures say from the beginning. So there's a firmament. Firmament comes from the Hebrew word rakia, strong as bronze, is beaten out strong as bronze. That's correct. And that's convenient because the U.S. military's declassified documents say there's a firmament as well. They actually declassified a Russian scientist's approximation method of the brightness of the firmament was proven correct. Declassified. The U.S. military knows that they can lie, a decade later they'll come out and tell you the truth, but most people won't read it. It can only be true if it's on TikTok. So that's how the lie works. Hopefully this doesn't go out too much. So yeah, I know it sounds crazy. I agree that when I first heard about it, it sounded crazy. I was like, wow, how did we get to the 21st century? We've been to space. We went to the moon in 1969, and we have actual human beings that think the Earth is flat? Well, then I swallowed my pride and looked into it. Let's address some of the stupid questions that we normally get. If the Earth is flat, wouldn't you fall? You'd fall off the Earth if it was flat. Can you fall off of a lake? Can you fall off of a pond? Can you fall off a shore? No. The Earth is surrounded with water that is contained. Okay? Antarctica is known to have the highest elevation in the world. It's effectively an ice ring around you, and it's illegal for you to go there. Every major world country has signed a treaty that says you can't go there. Now, we don't know what's beyond that. You know, is there more water with more land, and then eventually the firmament comes down and touches down? Does it extend infinitely? It doesn't matter. We don't know. But we know that they lied. We know that you can test and see if they told the truth about the sphere of Earth because it has to curve at a certain rate. If it's a certain size, it doesn't do that. So objectively, 100%, it is not what they said it is. There's no way that it could be. We tested the surface, we measured it. Okay, so what they said is a lie. Right? So what most people do is they vaguely remember and have recollection of these fairy tales of space. They're like, oh yeah, then what about all the other planets? What about all the other planets? Okay, first of all, when you say other planets, you're assuming the Earth is a planet. It's not. The word planet means wanderer. That's what the etymology is. It's a wandering light in the sky. The quote-unquote planets are just lights in the sky. They move around Polaris just like the rest of them. They all move east to west. They all reset. They're pulsating. I document them all the time. They look like they're in a fluid-like medium. They are not solid spheres you can land on. And even if they were, which they're objectively not, that doesn't make the Earth a sphere. Like me going into your crib and saying, hey, look, there's a light bulb up there. That must mean the floor's a light bulb. That's like pulling a pool ball off a pool table and saying, look, this is a sphere. That means the pool table's a sphere too. The sky, they move over top of you. You know, kind of like you've observed them your entire life, and so has everyone that's ever existed on the Earth. The stars move in perfect concentric circles year after year after year around Polaris, the North Pole star, directly over the North Pole of the star, the North Pole of the ground. Right? So the North Pole is the center of the surface of the Earth. The North Pole star is the center of the sky. And all the stars move around it. So yeah, the stars just move in the sky above you. They would want you to believe that, well, the stars actually don't move. They just look like they move. They're sitting still. They're thousands of light years away. Some of the stars that you see, you just think you see them. They actually don't exist anymore. And those stars are actually the same as the sun. No, they're not. The sun's the sun and stars are stars. Wow, how profound. So whenever you don't feel like you're spinning, you know why? Because you're not spinning, bro. And when the sky looks like it's spinning, you know why it looks like that? Because the sky spins. So everything in the sky moves over top of you. They want you to believe that actually nothing in the sky is moving, it's all sitting still, and that you're spinning 1,000 miles per hour and just can't feel it. Oh man, we're the conspiracy theorists. We're the conspiracy theorists. Do you know how the sun and the moon look like they're the same size? Well, the globe Earth model says that actually the sun's 400 times bigger than the moon, and just coincidentally exactly 400 times further away, so it looks like they're the same size. What a cool story. So a lot of us found out that NASA lies. They worked with Nazis, admittedly. It's on record and declassified. They brought Nazis over here, and one of the Nazis supposedly took us to the moon. They realized people don't really believe Nazis too much. But to believe the story of the moon landing, you can debunk it just by watching the stupid footage where they're glitching out and they're hitting a hammer. You can hear the sound of the hammer in a no atmosphere moon. Then they drop a hammer, they can't reach it because they're clearly confined and restricted by harnesses. So they had to come up with a new story here in 2021. They said, well, it's too dangerous to go there again because they can't fake it now. We have 4K in our pocket. We would know instantly that it's a fake video. So what they did was they said, well, look, private companies are going to space next. SpaceX. I know you don't trust NASA anymore, but SpaceX. You know, Elon Musk, the same psychopathic, crazy person that wants to put a chip in your brain, that's how you know you can trust him. He wants to put a chip in your brain. Yeah, so Elon Musk is actually on record saying we would have never gone to space without NASA helping us. So it's just an extension of NASA. They get hundreds of millions of dollars of grant from the government every year. So no, it's not a private company. They work with NASA, and they said they couldn't have gotten to space without NASA. And by the way, they didn't actually go to space, so no, don't. You can't go to space. It can't exist as it's defined. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. You know, you really don't get to argue against natural scientific law. It doesn't matter how emotionally connected you are to the lie. That doesn't change anything.
Hey, so Earth is flat.
So the Earth is not a spinning ball in a vacuum. It's literally impossible. And think about it, they've done so good at brainwashing everyone that you guys instinctively think that we are crazy because we don't think the Earth is spinning around 1,000 miles per hour while going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour while shooting through space with the sun 500,000 miles per hour while the galaxy shoots 1.3 million miles per hour, but the stars just keep doing perfect circles for thousands of years. We're the crazy ones. You know, the other option is, well, the sky just does perfect circles. Are you triggered?
Triggered! Triggered! In the world. Let me show the chat.
Hey, do you guys know that every major world country signed a treaty called the Antarctic Treaty that says it's illegal for you to go explore that region, and that's what would prove the Earth's a ball? You think it's just a coincidence? You know, east to west circumnavigation works perfectly on a flat Earth. That's what happens all day, every single day. But the one that couldn't happen on a flat Earth is called north to south circumnavigation.
Earth is flat, guys.
So if the Earth's a sphere and Antarctica is an ice shelf on the bottom of it, or more so an ice cap, then you would go around Antarctica and pop back up on the other side of the sphere. Conveniently, it's never been done in the history of mankind. It's illegal to even try to do it. You guys think it's just a coincidence? So what would prove the Earth's a sphere is going around it north to south, but it's never been done in the entire history of mankind. It's illegal to try to do it, and every major world country signed a treaty and you can't do it. I bet if you scream from across the street like a gamma, it'll make the Earth a ball. I'll give you $100 cash if you can answer 3 questions about the globe. No, I'm just trying to look cool in front of your girlfriend. Which ironically, she doesn't think you look cool right now. So anyway. The second law of thermodynamics debunks the vacuum of space. Debunks it.
Oh, great.
Ba-boom. Going to?
The flat Earth. Hey, do you guys think that the sun moves in the sky?
There's a YouTube channel
moves in the sky
called Wits It Gets It.
Don't raise your hand if
Don't
you think
troll.
the sun moves in the sky. I'm glad we all agree. Well, welcome to flat Earth.
The proof is at water lace level. Minnesota is the land of all the lakes. We have all the lakes. They're all flat. If Earth is 75% water and all the lakes in Minnesota are flat, what does that mean? You think the oceans are? Do you think the oceans form around a ball and make bendy water?
We wouldn't. That's the surface of the Earth. The government had to censor it.
Did you take the vaccine?
They said we're censoring flat Earth. It's dangerous
Oh,
misinformation.
don't bring the vaccine in.
But if you Google it, you'll find Flat Earth Society. So just so you know, some of you guys, you actually Google it. Flat Earth Society. I bet you won't come debate. You would get embarrassed.
I bet you won't debate them.
Anyway, if you
I bet
Google
you're
it,
a coward who
Flat Earth
hides behind your
Society,
phone and you won't debate them.
It's funny when guys try
Yeah,
to-
because you're a coward.
Well, I just asked that question. You answered it.
What do you want? What is?
now he's talking and he got far enough away.
Earth is flat, guys.
Oh, y'all tough. Why do people get so mad when something they don't know anything about? It's so weird. It's always when they get about 50 yards away, the guys are real tough all of a sudden. Anyway. So they lined out the Earth. You can test it, you can measure it. We saw the mountains from 273 miles away. I bet you won't come to bed. Hey, I'll give the whole group a chance to win $100 right now. All you gotta do is get 3 questions right about the globe Earth model that you believe in. To prove you even actually know what it is.
What seems to happen in school?
$100 cash to anyone here that can get 3 questions right about the globe Earth. I'll even tell you what the first question is. According to the globe Earth model, how many times does the Earth spin every 24 hours? Every 24 hours, how many times does the Earth supposedly spin? How many times does the Earth rotate every day?
Oh, let's not use the R word.
Yeah, okay, so retarded means to be...
So if you get that question right, and the next 2 questions right, you win $100. I've got to pay the
It's just a joke to you, man. It's just a joke. Life is just a
I'll give you $100.
life just a joke?
So you guys think you know what's crazy for not believing that Earth's a globe, but you don't even know what it is for crazy for not believing in it? That's like telling me, I know the Bible's real, I just haven't read it yet.
I need to personally travel around the planet.
The Bible's real, I haven't got the Genesis yet.
And how do you...
Yeah, doesn't it seem bounded to say we're crazy when we know every single aspect and metric of the globe Earth model, every story, every supposed scientific experiment that ever proved it when they went all out? We know every story, every detail, examined all the footage, we went measured the surfaces of it ourselves. You know nothing about it. You don't know the size of
You're laughing because you're uncomfortable. No, you're uncomfortable because when you're faced with the truth, it resonates with you and you get uncomfortable. You can't accept the truth. That's why you have your dog wearing stupid sunglasses. Because you're a moron.
Don't worry about it. We're all kinds of $100 and answer
No.
Don't get triggered. There is something wrong, man. That makes this weird.
That's the proof that you don't
Yeah, they go to the moon. Did you know that NASA admitted that they worked with Nazis to supposedly take us to the moon? Declassified. They worked with Nazis, but Nazis would never lie. Yeah, Buzz Aldrin said that we didn't go to the moon. Does that sound crazy to you guys? Maybe we should play it. Let's play Buzz Aldrin saying that we didn't actually go that the moon landing footage wasn't real. So since we're so crazy, we'll see what Buzz Aldrin, the guy that's in there, Buzz Aldrin, the guy that supposedly went to the moon in the United States. Let's see what he has to say about the moon landing. Since we're so crazy.
No, if you really no, see, you're not going to put it on me. It's not my convincing. You already believe in globe Earth, correct?
How is that not straight?
I'm asking you
How many
questions.
times has
No.
No. That's all it is.
You already believe something, so the burden of proof is on you. Yes, it is. You already believe it.
Wow, so Buzz Aldrin was asked about the moon. He said, so I remember me and my parents watched you land on the moon, and Buzz Aldrin said, no you didn't. There wasn't any television. There was no one there with the camera on the moon. You watched an animation, and then you associated what you heard with what you thought was happening. That's Buzz Aldrin's own words. And then he turns around and he says, pretty good lie though. So Buzz Aldrin said that it was just an animation, it wasn't real. Every single astronaut that's going to the moon will offer $5,000 cash to put their hand on the Bible and swear to God that they landed on the moon, and no one was funny. In fact, one of them actually assaulted the interviewer. Isn't that interesting? Supposedly when they went to the moon, they got moon rocks and they brought them back and gave them to different governments. And then Alan tested the moon rocks and it wasn't real moon rocks. They were petrified wood. Hey, if you really went to the moon and got moon rocks, would you have to bring back fake moon rocks? That's super weird. This is getting weird.
Don't tell you.
Why'd they bring back fake moon rocks?
No, I'm just saying that you guys have, like, people have a pride.
Why did they bring back petrified wood if it was moon rocks?
No, you're in a religion.
NASA admits we can't go back to the moon because we quote-unquote destroyed the technology and the painful process to build it back. The same guy that supposedly took us was a Nazi. His name is Werner von Braun, an SS officer of the Nazi regime. And on his tombstone is Psalms 19:1, which says the firmament shows the handiwork of the Creator. The firmament is what contains the earth. You can't travel through it. So why the guy that took us to the moon say you can't go to the moon on his deathbed? This is really getting awkward, isn't it?
I didn't call anybody more.
That's your man.
I asked
Yeah, someone's triggered. Hey, you want to play the game? You want to play the game? $100.
These guys, he's too much of a coward to debate. He's afraid. He's got dog with glasses.
Alright. You gotta come over here.
You came back from my education.
Where I get my education.
Yeah, how many times does the earth spin every 24 hours?
Brainwashed and everybody.
Come get on camera though.
Good luck.
Come get on the stream. Come get on the stream, bro. I got
Call
this.
people
Go
morons,
ahead.
but not get on camera.
Guys, come on, this is the $20.
Hey, blue shirt. Now she got to run away.
They're gonna run away.
Run away.
They're gonna run away. Anyway, don't you find that people get so, and flat earthers are so stupid, why would people get so mad about it? I don't know, you're really making this awkward, bro. Don't make this weird, okay? We're not the ones that lied to you. Okay, well just so you know, the same psychopath that wants to in your brain, him as Elon Musk, he didn't really go to space. They said they shot a car into space, but it still had tires with tire pressure, which is impossible in space. And then when asked about why it looked so fake, Elon Musk said, it's you know it's real
Earth is flat, guys.
because it looks so fake. Yeah, you know the same psychopath that wants to put a chip in your brain. The Neuralink, he gives Joe Biden a run for his money. He gave him to speak coherent sentences. And you think he's going to go to space and he's some type of genius? SpaceX gets hundreds of millions of dollars from the government. So they knew people weren't believing NASA anymore. They had to come out with these private company stories. It's all a lie. It's just like how the Nazi Werner von Braun that supposedly took us to the moon, he wrote a science fiction book in the 50s. I want you guys to pay attention, okay? In the 1950s,
Check it out.
the Nazi that took us to the moon, supposedly, he wrote a science fiction book. And in the science fiction book, authored in the 50s, the maker's title is Elon. And guess what Elon does in the book? He takes everyone to Mars. What a coincidence. Elon Musk is supposedly about to take us to Mars. Do you guys think the Nazi was a prophet? Yeah, the Nazi was a prophet. Yeah, this guy's crushing. They're trolling you with stupid science fiction books. Just like Jules Verne in the late 1800s predicted the moon landing perfectly. Just another coincidence. Let's see how many coincidences we can compile. Have you guys ever heard of the Masons? Not allowed to be a 33rd degree Mason unless you know the earth is flat. You know, just the richest, most powerful people in the world. I'm not talking about degree Masons. You get to the 32nd degree once you do the rituals, then you have to be voted on to get to the 33rd degree. So you can't be a 33rd degree Mason unless you know the earth is flat. So the G stands for geometria, which means measurement of the earth. That's why it has a squared compass in the logo. That's how you measure a flat earth. You also have to know you're a Luciferian to be a 33rd degree Freemason. Did you guys know that? No, you don't? This guy's saying no, but I just happen to know 33rd degree Freemasons. This is getting awkward for you, I guess. Yeah. There's probably clever.
Earth is flat, guys.
Well, everyone here thinks there's a wall. The earth is flat.
Earth is flat, sir.
I'm not big on politics. All presidents were related. All presidents are related and track back to English royalty. Yay, we get to pick out the family reunion every 4 years. No, they just get distracted with politics and race. Race isn't even real, by the way. I don't change race throughout the summer. That's done. They keep us divided based on race. It's called the human race. We have different color skin. Get over it. Making this weird. Okay? They're keeping us divided so that they can conquer us. Divide and conquer. That's how it is. Different nationalities. It's not a big deal. So anyway, they lied about the earth. And so to be a Freemason, you must know, to be a 33rd degree Freemason, you must know that the earth is flat, and you must know that you're a Luciferian. So if you've heard of Lucifer, you've heard of the number 666, right? So let's hear how many numbers coincidentally with 666 are in the globe earth model that you guys believe in. It's just going to be a coincidence, though. Preemptively, I know you guys will dismiss it as coincidence. So let's hear the globe earth model. Suppose the circumference of the earth in nautical miles is 21,600. That's 6 times 6 times 600. The north and south Arctic circles are at 66.6 degree latitudes. Supposedly we're on an axial tilt of 66.6 degrees. Supposedly we're going around the sun 66,600 miles per hour. Utilizing gravity discovered in 1666. Those are all coincidences. Those are just coincidences, you crazy conspiracy theorist. So a 66.6 degree tilt going 66,600 miles per hour, circumference mile of 6 times 6 times 600 with a curvature rate of 0.666 feet per mile squared. With north and south Arctic circles at 66.6 degrees. There's also an eclipse Selenilian eclipse. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, the Earth's flat, what about eclipses? Did you know that NASA says they can't even predict eclipses using the heliocentric model? They still use what's called the Saros cycle, which was created in 2500 BC by the Chaldeans, which was a flat Earth civilization. Oh yeah, NASA's so advanced. Flat Earthers are science deniers, yet NASA has to use flat Earth Saros cycle to predict eclipses in 2021, admittedly on their own website. Dun dun dun. Anyway, there's a lunar eclipse that happens called the Selenilian eclipse. So according to the globe Earth model, the reason you have lunar eclipses is because the Earth blocks the light from the sun and casts a shadow onto the moon. Well, there's a Selenilian eclipse where the sun and the moon are both above the horizon during the eclipse. So how is the Earth blocking the light from the sun if the sun's above the Earth during the eclipse? It's called the impossible eclipse, the Selenilian eclipse. Well, guess what year they said they first recorded the Selenilian eclipse? 1666. So, does anyone want to answer that? If the Earth is spinning ball in a vacuum, how do you have an eclipse where the sun and the moon are both above the Earth during the eclipse? Anyone want to enlighten me? Since we're so dumb. It's impossible. It's a geometric impossibility. Kind of like it's a geometric impossibility that we saw mountains from 300 miles away. You know, geometry to measure shapes. So if a sphere has a radius of 3,959 miles, a radius is, of course, the distance from the center to the edge of a circle or a sphere. So that's the curve at 8 inches per mile squared. So you have to see the curvature of the Earth at 1.225 times the square root of the Earth's height in feet. I know a lot of people hate math. I get it. Well, it's pretty simple. The square root of 1 is 1. So what's 1 times 1.2? 1.2. So if you're 1 foot off the surface of this globe Earth that they brainwashed us with cartoons since we were 5, then you would see the curvature a mile away. But we have an observation 1 foot off the coast of Cali where the horizon's over 10 miles away. That would mean the radius value has to be 264,000 miles. I guess just over 250,000 miles is a little different than 104,000, isn't it? We falsified the radius. Now here's where it gets really tricky. If the radius value is wrong, the entire mile's wrong. Day and night cycle uses the radius value. Supposed gravity uses the radius value. Distance on the Earth uses the radius value. To travel to Earth, or travel to quote-unquote space that couldn't exist, then you need a radius of orbit to attain escape velocity, which means you need an accurate radius of Earth value.
What?
So the entire model falls apart if the radius is wrong. Well, we falsified the radius.
It's called...
This is why the government censored us. Because we did. We proved it. You guys know nothing about it. Right?
Calm
So
down,
just
Jesus Christ.
remove your pride and be honest. You should inform yourself before attacking people. Right? Because hand wave dismissal prior to investigation is the height of ignorance. How can you know something's true or false if you've never even researched it? That's ridiculous. It's easier to fool someone to convince them that they've been fooled. Most of you guys, you know nothing about this, but since you're just like so weak, you want to fit into the popular people, right? They're like, what do most people think? I have to think this so I can be cool, right? So I guess back in the day you would have been cool with slavery, huh? Because most people were cool with it. You really thought this one out. A built majority is one of the most remedial fallacies in the world. Who cares what everyone else thinks? A lot of people here think they came from apes. I don't really care what other people think. You should worry about that. So most people say, can you fall off the edge? No, you can't fall off the lake or shore. That's a dumb question. So this flat Earth is so dumb that you have to straw man it with questions that we don't really think. No, and the Earth is also contained. There's something over top of the Earth. That's the only way you can have gas from it. That's the only way that you're breathing. What a coincidence. The scriptures are right again. There's a firmament over top of the Earth, and the military agrees with us, by the way.
Hey, the Earth is flat.
There are dozens and dozens of declassified military documents that say the Earth is flat. Does anyone want to help me out?
Earth is flat, guys.
Why does the military say that
Earth is flat, space is fake.
Whenever they create ballistic missiles, they have to assume the Earth's a flat, non-rotating surface. Whenever they create planes, they have to assume that the Earth's a flat, non-rotating surface. I don't care what this is. You think the Earth's a ball? So, the U.S. military says that the Earth is flat in tons and tons of declassified documents. Why did they say the Earth's flat? You guys right now, you're just like, that's not true. You can Google it, dude.
Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
The military says that the Earth is flat dozens and dozens and dozens of times. It actually says there's a firmament over top of the Earth. So whenever they design military planes and fighter jets, they have to assume the Earth's a flat, non-rotating surface. That's how they design the plane, which is why it's called plane, because it flies over a plane. A lot of people will Google it, they'll come over here and say, you can see the curvature of the Earth.
Earth is flat, guys.
Really, that's crazy.
Earth is flat.
Over 100 flights and no over 200 pilots, and they would all say you're just a liar. You know? You've never seen the curvature from a plane, you're lying. I know people that have flown planes decades, and they say they've never seen the curvature of the Earth. You don't see the curvature of the Earth in a plane. They also don't assume the Earth is dipping down beneath them, 8 inches per mile squared. As they dip their nose down, they actually dip their nose up some. They tilt their nose up. They don't assume the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour east whenever they land on a runway. They fly, assuming the Earth is flat and stationary. And that's what the documents say that train you how to fly a plane. That's what the U.S. military says when they design the planes. So I agree, it sounds crazy, but it doesn't. The truth is stranger than fiction. The fact that you've been told it's crazy means nothing. Have you guys ever seen The Matrix? Have you guys ever seen The Hunger Games? Oh, The Hunger Games are real. They drew a circle around you and said, stay inside the circle. You could escape, and the slaves don't even know the circle exists.
You are.
You guys ever heard of The Truman Show?
Where's the pandemic,
Where
everybody?
Jim Carrey plays in The True Man Show, and he thinks he lives on a globe, but really the
Real
whole thing is inside of
pandemics
a
don't have
dome,
Olympic Games.
and everyone's watching him.
I thought people
Yeah,
were
they
dying. How
showed you
many
in plain
booster
sight
shots
what the
is
Earth
it
was,
going
but
to
you
take?
guys
Olympic
never go
Games
test
don't
it.
happen during
Just wanna
real
get on TikTok.
pandemics.
Just go back to TikTok, bro. Go back to Instagram. Nothing else matters. So yeah, they tell you lies in the news and truth in the TVs and the... You can prove this. You don't have to blindly believe us. But the truth is, most of you guys just it's uncomfortable, right? Like, I don't want to be the crazy flat earther. I'll never be the flat earther.
Hey,
I'll
real
just get
pandemics.
Stupid and say, I
Olympics
believe in
don't
science.
happen during real
Really?
pandemics.
Can you define
Remember
science?
that.
I believe in science too. Actually, you don't have to believe in science. Belief is the opposite of science. You don't believe in science.
You're walking away.
That's dumb. You don't have to believe in science. Science is the opposite of belief. It's where you empirically prove things. It has nothing to do with belief. Right? Well, you can empirically prove that gas pressure needs a container. You can't have a pressurized system sitting next to a vacuum. It's called the second law of thermodynamics.
Where's your vaccine? How many are you going to take?
Second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics. Not medical advice. In a world where no one knows what the world is.
Hey, if you want a problem, wear your mask. Yeah, wear a mask.
Hey, man. You know.
Yeah, look at you. Put your mask on.
In a world where no one knows where the world is.
Real pandemics. Hey, real pandemics don't have Olympic Games, bud.
Hey, so what I do know is the Earth is not a spinning ball in a vacuum. Do you guys actually think it's a spinning ball in a vacuum? And if I don't believe that, that makes me dumb. Hey, do you guys think that everything came from nothing? There are a lot of people here that would say that they're atheists. People will say that they're atheists, and they believe, keyword there, atheists aren't supposed to believe things. Believe in the Big Bang Theory. Did you know a Catholic priest proposed the Big Bang Theory? You're such an atheist, you believe in a theory proposed by a priest.
How many boots?
And actually, the Big Bang doesn't say everything came from nothing. It says there's a pre-existing energy.
Olympics don't happen during
There's
real
no such thing as
pandemics.
atheists, by the way. None are atheists. Not one person here is actually an atheist. Don't care what you say about it. It's literally impossible. It doesn't exist. Because atheism means without a creator. So unless you know for a 100% fact that there is no creator, you're not an atheist. That's what the etymology of atheism is. So you're not an atheist. You might be agnostic. You don't know, right? Well, you don't know for a fact that there isn't one. No one can possibly say that honestly. But anyway. So did you know that Edwin Hubble, that's where the Hubble telescope was named after, okay? If you ever heard of the Hubble telescope, they claim it's out in space, taking pictures, but not really good pictures, and they can't take a picture of the moon or anything. It doesn't have the right cameras to take pictures of the moon landing area, but don't worry, they just messed up, they forgot to equip it. Anyway, Edwin Hubble, who's the telescope's named after, he's on record saying, it can never be disproven that the Earth is geocentric, i.e. the center of everything, just like all the ancient civilizations said. This is one of the Globebusters priest, by the way. His name is Edwin Hubble. You can just no is a very sufficient and intellectual form. So Edwin Hubble says that it can never be disproven the Earth is the center of everything because there's equal dispersal in all directions away from the Earth being the center. But we must avoid this supposition at all costs because it would show that the Earth is in a favored location. So they're literally admitting you can't disprove the Earth's the center of everything. But we're just going to ignore that and try to explain that it's not in the center of everything because that would show the Earth's in a favored location. And we must avoid that at all costs. I wonder what that psychopath did. He's so scared there might be a creator. And this is Edwin Hubble, one of the top tier guys propped up on your side where the Hubble telescope is named after him. Does that sound like science? Well, it can never be disproven that the Earth's the center of everything, and that's what all the evidence says, but we're just going to ignore it and try our best to explain something else. That's the opposite of science, bruh. Yeah. You guys have been lied to. You guys have been lied to. We were lied to, too. NASA's lying to you, and they're taking $60 million a day to lie to children, but who cares? Just keep on walking, sleepwalking through your life. You know, TikTok. Green-faced small waist to the big thing. How many followers can I get? I don't really care. What's important? No, I just want to watch the
I never will. I know science. I understand science and how it works. Where are you under? You're a super spreader. CDC says vaccinated people are super spreaders. Yeah, check it out. Put it on your phone. CDC. Yeah, look it up, bud. I don't vote, bud. Bye. Pandemics don't have Olympic Games.
Try using logic next time.
Can't hear ya. How many booster shots are you gonna take? 6 million?
By the way, lockdown is one person's head.
Yeah, 6 million vaccines.
That's not what free countries have. That's present term.
I don't think
No, he's not. He's a moron.
Circle around you and say,
yeah, so do you, bud. Stop watching other people.
So you don't even know how big the Earth is. You don't know how much land is there. You don't know what else is beyond there. In fact, when the U.S. government went and explored this in something called Operation High Jump, they used someone called Admiral Byrd. And when Admiral Byrd
went and explored this region, he came back on national TV and he said, wow, it's astonishing to me that there's an area continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica that remains unexplored and no one knows about it, has tons of resources. What happened to Admiral Byrd after that? He died. He mysteriously had heart complications after being completely healthy. Oh, don't worry, his son died too. Yeah, they killed his son too. He was randomly kidnapped, taken on a train, and found dead in a warehouse. Yeah, because he came out and accidentally let it slip out that there was more area outside of Antarctica that we don't know about. And that's the guy that went on behalf of the U.S. military to explore it. And guess what they did after that? After they killed him and his son? They then came out and founded NASA in 1958, which was 4 years after they took him out. And then in 1959, they signed the Antarctic Treaty and said it's illegal for you to go where they just explored. It's still intact to this day.
What happened to all the people dying?
It's just a coincidence that every major world country signed a treaty called the Antarctic Treaty that says it's illegal for you to go where they explored and found that there was more area that no one knows about. The longest lasting treaty in American history or in world history, in modern history, and in fact it's not even up for review until 2042. Did you guys know the Antarctic Treaty was even a thing? See, they drew a circle around the slaves and they said you're not allowed to leave the circle. And you know why it works so well? You guys don't even know the circle exists. And you can go research it. It's open information. It's Antarctic Treaty. Not privately, freely explore Antarctica. You will be intercepted. You can't take external water supply, external fuel supply. We've had people trying. They were intercepted and arrested without due process. For years. That's how you know you can trust them. They forcibly censor you. And they forcibly kidnap you and don't let you have due process if you try to go explore the earth. Be a good slave. You defend all the major world countries telling you're not allowed to go anywhere. How about you attack the guys trying to wake you up and you be a good slave? Have you guys heard of the Stockholm Syndrome? That's where someone's kidnapped and abused, right? And then eventually they get to the point where they're so psychologically broken down that they defend their captives. That's what you guys are doing. We're coming trying to tell you about the Antarctic Treaty, how the government's...
Where's the pandemic?
You attack us and defend your captives. You defend the guys lying to you. You don't even realize that's what you're doing. It's from years and years of psychological abuse. So you guys should wake up before it's too late. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. How dare these guys try to tell me all this information that I knew nothing about? And if I'm being honest, I have to admit, I didn't know anything about this. I've never heard of the Antarctic Treaty or the second law of thermodynamics or Operation High Jump or Operation Fishbowl, but you're crazy. We're trying to help you. We're just trying to present you the information. We're not trying to make you think something. We're trying to open up your eyes to the information so you can be intelligent and make your own decision. You know, that's how you make decisions. You have to inform yourself. I know it's really profound. Wow, you can't know something until you know it? Wow. No way, these flat earthers are crazy. They think you have to research something before you can know what you're talking about? No way. So based on the radius of the Earth cannot let us 273 miles away. We saw mountains from 273 miles away based on the globe Earth mass should be blocked by 3 miles. 3 miles. It's curvature. Do you guys know how long a mile is? These people get so tough, it's like how tough they think they are is proportionate to how far away they get.
Huh?
It's so funny.
Hey, where's the pandemic?
Yo, you guys are so soft until you
there
get
is no
100
pandemic.
yards
That's
away,
why.
all of a sudden you guys are super hard.
Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics.
No.
Hallelujah.
I won't date
Hallelujah.
you if you're vaccinated.
Yeah?
Hey guys, where's the pandemic? Where's the pandemic? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics.
Thank you. Awesome. keep it up. Thanks. Yeah, much love.
Hey guys, where's the pandemic?
Nowhere.
Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics.
Do you guys believe it for a minute? Why are y'all so weird? Yeah, Jesus. So his name was Yeshua. But do you guys think the government doesn't lie? You're making this really awkward. Wow. I'm just gonna use reverse psychology for now on. Wait, are you saying you think the government's not lying? You're making this awkward.
Hey, where's the pandemic? Where's it at?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to offend you. You're right. The government would never lie. I'm sorry. Y'all be acting like I'm waffling. Like this white boy's so out of pocket. He doesn't blindly believe the government that always lies. You know the government that said the Vietnam War was real, but they actually attacked Hiroshima and made it look like it was Vietnam, and then they lied about 9/11, said there were weapons of mass destruction when there actually was a passport on the fire. It showed us the bad guy, but just a coincidence that they were running a drill where baby planes get right into the building the same exact day at the exact same time as 9/11, and then they came out and said $2.1 trillion was missing, and the very next day the area that had that money documented in the pit got hit by a plane, and they moved. There goes all the evidence, just coincidentally. The same government that put fluoride in your water, even though fluoride's a neurotoxin and actually it's an ingredient in rat poison. Yeah, you know, that same government. That's how you know they're trustworthy. They always lie. You know the same government that admittedly worked with Nazis and brought them over here in Operation Paperclip? It's so patriotic to believe that we went to the moon. You know the way that you know it's patriotic is because they worked with Nazis to do it. I guess we can't go back to the moon because we're fresh out of Nazis. We'll just have to wait for another communist takeover.
Where's this flat?
Go back to the moon. Damn. We need someone to have a communist takeover. I want to go back to the moon. I don't
Guys,
blindly
where's the
believe
pandemic?
Nazis. I think that's
Where'd the pandemic
psychopathic.
go?
And I don't blindly believe the government. I think that's psychopathic. Admit that they constantly manipulate you and lie to you about everything. So why would you blindly believe them about stories about space that can't exist? Space cannot exist as a vacuum. It's literally impossible. We haven't explored 90% of the ocean, but we know what's thousands of light years away. Yeah. Did you know that they say the sun's 93 million miles away, but they've had to change the distance 6 times in the last century? The way that they know it so definitively is that they have to keep changing it. That's how you know they're talking about it. Clap if you think the Earth's flat. Woo! Oh, the crowd's coming around. The crowd is coming around. Let's go.
Let's go! Let's get a pump
No, the Earth is not spinning a ball in a vacuum. That's super dumb, bro. It's just dumb at this point. Yeah, most of the Earth's surface is covered in water, and water always finds its level, but that's how we know it's a ball. That's right. Yeah, the way we know the Earth's a ball is that since it's flat everywhere, that's how you know it's a ball. You know? Yeah, no, it's a ball. It's just flat in Florida and in New York and in Minnesota.
Earth is flat,
and in Cali
guys.
and in
The
Nevada
pandemic's
and in
not real.
Kansas and in Texas and in Japan and in China and in Australia. That's how you know it's a ball. Because it's flat all over the world.
Hey guys.
Did you guys know that every single map is flat? Did you guys know the U.S. military still uses flat maps to navigate and a flat Earth assumption to navigate? Did you guys know that there are dozens of declassified military documents that say the Earth is flat? I guess the military is lying. Now, you want to make sure it's comfortable, so they must be lying. Why does the U.S. military say the Earth is flat? This is getting weird. So the U.S. military says the Earth is flat. They say they have to assume a flat, non-rotating surface to design planes, to design ballistic missiles, or ground weapon systems. You can Google electromagnetic propagation over a flat Earth. And to build ground weapon systems, they actually had to assume a dielectric plane of flat Earth so that the radiation would actually get across to the enemy so they could attack them. So when they create weapons and have to get the bad guys and people's lives are at stake, they assume the Earth is flat. Whenever a sniper sees the bad guy in the target, he doesn't say, wait, let me do the globe Earth math, never mind, I'm not supposed to be able to see that target, he must be over the curvature of the Earth, so I need to actually aim down. No, he just shoots him when he's in target. So, yeah, the military has to assume the Earth is flat or people would die. Duh, that's why there's dozens of declassified documents say the Earth is flat, because literally none of their technology would work if they didn't assume the Earth. Seems pretty simple there. Yeah, like you literally, people would die, people's lives are at stake, so they have to assume the Earth is flat. Did you know that the first time that they sent radio waves on the Earth is by somebody named Marconi? He sent them 2,200 miles. Based on the Globers, they should have been blocked by at 200 miles of Earth curvature. But he sent them assuming line of sight, just a flat Earth is what that means. And it hit the target the first time, 2,000 miles away. His name is Marconi. Actually, no, you can send radio waves 10,000 miles. How do you send a radio wave out 10,000 miles on a ball? Because it's supposed to be curving down beneath it. So, this is awkward. Did you guys know that there are different animals in the sea that can send radars and sonars super far? It's impossible on a Glober. Because it'd be blocked by the curvature of the Earth.
Critical inception.
Yeah, I got a card. There's a QR code.
Earth is flat.
It's got all of our info and an app and the YouTube. We measured the surface, we went and made observations and what it looks like this.
Yeah, we actually caught a foul ball earlier, so we have
Yeah, like I did. Yeah, none of us did. Well, see this right here? Based on the Glober Earth, this entire skyline should be blocked by Earth curvature way up here. These mountains right here should be curvature Earth up here blocking. There's like hundreds of this. Yeah, Lake Michigan. But there's all kinds, and like if you go, there's an app on there too, and you can see a bunch of. We also sent balloons up like 120,000 feet, and the Earth is still flat up there. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it has to curve at this rate, 8 inches per mile squared, because they said the radius is 3,159, so it has to curve down there. It doesn't do that. So they 100% lie about what they said that was. NASA's fraudulent, super fraudulent. Yeah. Which, I mean, dude, if you watch their live streams, they glitch out. Most people haven't seen them, right? But, like, if you research them, like, their hands go through micrographs, their hands are glitch out through windows. Yeah. There's a stuffed animal that'll pop out of nowhere. They'll actually drop stuff and it'll fall, which is supposed to be in weightlessness, right? There are bubbles in spacewalks. Bubbles come out of their mouths. Yeah, no, it sounds crazy, right? Yeah. So, like, we know for a fact that they're showing us fake footage. Well, it's a live stream. Yeah, and so NASA works with Nazis since their inception. They lied about the moon landing. They lied about everything. Yeah.
Hey guys, where's the pandemic?
Yeah, Vogel's vigilant. People
Where's
say
the
that
pandemic?
proves the Earth is spinning, but you have to actually start the movement yourself. Like you have to start it, right? So, and it doesn't continue the motion. It also still attached to the Earth, so it doesn't have an independent frame of reference. So they're just people will say that proves the Earth spins from 1851, but it does not. Yeah, we don't believe in gravity. That sounds crazy to you, maybe, but no. Like when I drop, let's see.
Where's the pandemic?
It's just
Where is the pandemic?
More dense in the air. If I let go of a helium balloon will go up. It's because it's lighter than the surrounding air. Like helium is lighter than the
Where's the pandemic?
It's less dense, so it'll go up.
Olympic Games don't happen during real
It
pandemics.
just goes up because it's less dense. Things go down because they're more dense.
Where's the
There's no
pandemic?
scientific experiment to ever prove gravity. It's called the theory of relativity. Yeah, it's just a theory. And the only evidence for gravity is that if the Earth's a ball,
Where's the
gravity
pandemic?
has to exist. That's it. So, no, like you don't have to integrate gravity into a flat Earth. I understand why people would think that, right? You would immediately think, well, then how does gravity work on a flat Earth, right? But actually, you'll find out that, well, gravity just claimed to be a thing to explain how the Earth's a ball, right? Because you have to be on it in all the reports. So there has to be some immense force pulling you down, including the ocean water, right? So that's the only evidence for gravity. It's not real.
People were dying.
No, you're good.
Why you guys have sporting pits? That's the inside. You guys are all
Well, we're more dense in the air. Right? So on a flat Earth, there's just
like
the
COVID
Earth.
just took a break.
Since you're more dense in the air, you're just on the ground.
Where's the pandemic? Where's the pandemic, guys?
Small water goes up.
Where's the pandemic?
Because it's the water's more dense.
Hey guys, where's the pandemic? Where's the pandemic? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. And we didn't land on the moon either.
Okay, you're more dense in the air. Nothing in the earth. You can jump in the air. Yeah, but like you're on the earth because you went down to find your rest. Everything was to find its balance or its rest. And it can get technical. Technically, everything is intrinsically electrostatic. Yeah, which is 10 to the 39 power stronger than gravity claims to be on the smallest scale. And everything that exists is electrostatic. All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. Everything that exists is electrostatic. Rubber, glass, any insulator you can think of. Ground something, it's still electrostatic. You know, like a skew my feet, punch you and shock you, it's electrostatic. So, force, but no, it doesn't really matter. It's super, super weak. So, like a
goalie.
You know, its buoyancy is way stronger than that. Yeah, exactly. It's super weak, but way
Real pandemics don't have Olympic Games.
so what they say is that out in space it all changes, and since gravity is scalar,
COVID
which is
just
just
took a 4-hour break.
out there with giant massive
Now back
planets,
to COVID again.
gravity takes over and makes
You
everything
guys have the
real,
baseball
because
games.
electrostatics wouldn't work. It's not strong enough to do it. So we know electrostatics is real, but it had to
Real pandemics don't have baseball games.
They wouldn't
I
make
work
that at all. So
Yeah, you're
Keep
a
running.
modified genetic human being. Nice
Keep
work.
running.
yeah, I've read a couple times. I mean, it's stupid. It says that space is
Real
time and
pandemics
work.
don't have baseball
But
games.
there's
You
an
guys can
spinning
go
and working
to.
space-time.
Wait till it happens here.
It's an idea of emptiness. Right, and it's time's awesome. Right? That's how we quantify what the sky does. So you can't bend and warp concepts. That's called a reification fallacy. You can't attribute concreteness to concepts. But that's the best idea you can come up with to explain this. And actually, when they apply it to the universe, still assuming that all these distances are true or not, it's off by 95%. All dark matter and dark energy. Yeah, 95% of it.
Where's the pandemic, guys? Where is the pandemic?
Assuming the whole fairy tale is
Shouldn't we all be sheltering in place right now? Where's the pandemic, guys? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. Hey guys, where's the pandemic?
Not here.
Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. Where's the pandemic, guys? Where's the pandemic? Huh? Where's the pandemic? Where's the pandemic, guys?
I thought this was a pandemic. What do you guys have baseball games for?
Where's the pandemic? Where did the pandemic go? Where's the pandemic? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. Guys, where's the pandemic? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. Guys, where's the pandemic? Where did the pandemic go? Guys, where's the pandemic? What happened to the pandemic? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. Guys, where's the pandemic? Guys, where's the pandemic? What happened to the pandemic? Guys, where's the pandemic? What happened to the pandemic? Where did the pandemic go? What happened to the pandemic? Where'd it go?
Lockdowns, everybody. You had your fun. You guys got till 11 o'clock to get home. Lockdown.
Guys, what happened to the pandemic? Are we all gonna shelter in place now? We should be sheltering in place right now if it was real. What happened to the pandemic? Where'd it go? What happened to the pandemic? What happened to the pandemic? Olympic Games don't happen during real pandemics. Vaccinated are super spreaders, so good luck.
Yep. CDC says vaccinated people are super spreaders. Good luck with that. Yeah, never. I don't modify my DNA. Thank you very much. Real pandemics don't have baseball games.
Hey, which vaccine did you guys get? Was it Pfizer, who's been sued for billions of dollars in medical fraud, or was it Moderna, who's never had a successful vaccine?
How many days are you going to wear a mask for? Please wear 6 feet of masks at all times. Please stand 6 feet of masks away from each other.
Oh, man, fuck yourself.
Oh, yeah? Tough guy. I have another one, $10 beer.
Real intelligent.
Why are you wearing a mask?
I'm not wearing a mask.
Why are you wearing a mask?
Why would I wear a mask?
Because you're protesting.
Why aren't you wearing a mask?
CDC says if you're vaccinated,
Well, CDC said you should still wear your mask.
I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to get vaccinated.
Well then, why are you wearing that?
Because vaccines are poison.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. If this was a real pandemic, we wouldn't have a baseball game.
did you get the
Hey,
Pfizer?
we're coming.
Did you get the Pfizer or the
It
Moderna?
doesn't matter to you.
Okay, how much fraud do they have to be sued for?
Welcome.
How much fraud does Pfizer have to have for you not to take
You
their
are
vaccine?
very connected to the modern spirit. There you go.
I thought people were dying.
To the real world.
Yeah, it's a big pandemic, sir. Why don't you wake
Buy
up?
another $10 beer. You got nothing better to do.
We're trying to build a better world for the children. I don't waste time on sports because they're fake. I'm not gonna talk to that guy.
I thought this was a pandemic.
You guys for the vaccine or against the vaccine? That's the question. You are?
Against it.
Why?
Why? Because it's not. It's
I'm
proven.
really asking you why. I'm not being a dick.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, it's in its experimental phase still. It's not
4
FDA
hours of not worrying
approved, and
about
the
COVID,
CDC website for vaccine adverse reactions says 11,000 people have already died from
Sure,
it.
you guys
How
get
many
home
people
before
killed?
11 o'clock. You guys have to
Probably at least several million.
7 million?
At least several million.
people in this country. 65% of them.
real
Right. So
pandemics
what's the
don't
death
have
percentage
baseball
of people who
games.
died from COVID? What's the percentage of people dying from COVID?
Real pandemics
it's admittedly 99% that you won't die from COVID. You're right. So he felt the need to go get a vaccine for something that
Guys,
was
where's the pandemic?
99% not likely to
Shouldn't we all be sheltering in place from the pandemic right now?
Right. Well, that doesn't make sense. You don't have to get a vaccine for somebody else's vaccine to work. That's not how it works.
I thought this was a pandemic.
It helps tamp that down. It's like the measles. You get a vaccine for measles, you don't believe that one either.
No, I haven't taken a vaccine since I was able to make my own decisions, and I'm perfectly healthy. No flu shots, no flu, no COVID. Okay? So shouldn't I be dead? I haven't worn a mask this whole time, and I'm not vaccinated. Shouldn't I be dead?
You make some valid points. My point is that you just came over a baseball game and it's got to be a better place.
But they're using sports to normalize the idea of people losing their jobs.
They're firing
for not
people.
taking the vaccine.
They're firing
Minnesota
people for not
Vikings
getting the
coach was
vaccine.
fired.
About the Vikings coach?
Yeah.
He's still on the payroll.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying is they are normalizing the idea. Walmart and who else was it today just came out and said that you cannot work for the company if you're not vaccinated. So they're already passing in other countries that you can't buy food if you're not vaccinated. You can't go into a grocery store or a restaurant if you're not vaccinated in France, Italy, Greece, Israel, and there are thousands of people.
You gotta wear a mask.
No, you have to get vaccinated.
Masks cause bacterial pneumonia. And Fauci.
You wear them all the time, yeah. But if I'm going into a store, like I run a restaurant, and if I have somebody come in who is sick or whatever, they want to wear a mask, that'd be great.
But then they sit down and it's all good. They can take their mask off. How does that make sense?
It gets to the point where it's ridiculous. Right. You guys can make some good points. My point is that just
No, thanks for having a conversation.
He looked triggered when he came over here.
Yeah, he was. He was. But he swallowed his pride.
How much shots is it going to take for us to get back to normal? 6 million? Real pandemics don't have baseball games.
Say no to the lockdowns. Don't accept it.
Here you go, sir.
Boycott Walmart. Boycott Walmart and mandatory vaccinated employees. This world will be full of modified genetic humans to supply the vaccine. They are using sports to normalize the idea of people losing their jobs for not taking the COVID jab. Minnesota Vikings offensive line coach was fired for not taking the COVID jab. Watch out, world. That's right. They are not vaccinated. That opinion. Please stand 6 feet of masks away from each other at all times. Please wear 6 feet of masks at all times. I won't date a vaccinated woman if she's not human anymore. Vaccinated people are not human. Wear a mask your whole life.
She laughs like a witch.
We need oxygen to breathe last time I checked. Real pandemics don't have baseball games and Olympic sports. I thought people were dying. Saturday. Everybody got the memo. Hawaiian shirt day on Saturday. Make sure you're vaccinated tomorrow. You're not vaccinated. What are you gonna do
Guys, where's the pandemic?
Well,
What
I thought there
happened?
was a pandemic.
Did it take a break?
Where's it at?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look at you.
Science, right? Science. Until it comes to chromosomes, right?
Pandemic's on vacation.
Until it comes to XX and XY, then science is real, right?
Bunch of Satanists.
Real pandemics don't have baseball games. Everybody was at the game, and now we're back to COVID again. You just forget about it. Thought there was a pandemic. Where's the pandemic at? Well, what do you say? What do you say? She can probably come now.
Good.
Time she gets here, it'll take 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Real pandemics don't have games. Real pandemics don't have Olympic games.
Government's lying. The media is owned by the CIA.
How many booster shots? How many booster shots? 6 million?
Not trust the government. Do not trust the government.
We don't trust the government. We don't trust the government. We don't trust the government. We don't trust the government.
Do not trust the government. Do not trust the government.
Earth is flat.
The media is owned by the CIA. Do not trust anything you hear on the news.
Real pandemics don't have baseball games.
Media is owned by the CIA. Do not listen to your news. They are lying to you.
Andrew Cuomo's brother said, "Do not trust the media. They are not your friends." Yeah.
The media is owned by the CIA.
Operation Mockingbird.
Declassified.
Yeah.
Keep it up, guys.
Thanks, man.
Go Trump. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Say no to lockdowns this fall. Say no to lockdowns this fall.
Yeah.
I tried to
Real pandemics don't have Olympic games.
That's just a derogatory term for
Real pandemics don't have Olympic games.
Pick that one.
Yes. Fair enough. If people were dying, we wouldn't go to the baseball game, 20,000 of us, if people were actually dying in the street. Obviously not. Why would I have a mask on?
Why would they plan it?
Why would I wear a mask?
Why would this whole thing start?
Never control people. Yeah, they were part of a organization of many countries that did a presentation on how to react to a similar situation like this in October of 2019.
Hey, my fucking mom died. What the fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about?
My stepdad died too from pancreatic cancer. Yeah, my grandmother died of brain cancer too.
Okay, but I respect the fact that you're out here, but why are you out here?
Why not? The people who want to stop and are resonating with what we're saying, stop and listen to what we have to say.
There's lots of other causes you could be.
Yeah, why aren't you out here for those? Why aren't you out here for those if they're so important to you?
In my other time in my life, I could be out here.
Yeah, but not right now during the baseball game, right?
When the government says you gotta go back into lockdown, you're just gonna listen.
My life,
Like tonight.
now.
You just so happen to be meeting me here while I'm doing this, and you're convinced
go through all the mental gymnastics to try and find a reason to not listen to what we're saying.
Okay, so that makes what? Well, because that means you're more brainwashed and what? No, I don't. I'm not saying that. You're saying if I have a degree, that means I'm
Two
more
sides.
brainwashed.
So it gets more of a...
From where? Education? For education or experience? Okay, so is it better to go into the water and swim with the dolphins if you're going to be a marine biologist, or read about dolphins and never go into the ocean? I'm doing it right now. I'm swimming with the sharks right now because I know things and I feel compelled to tell people.
I agree with everything you're saying.
I do too. I do too. So what is it you're trying to tell me? Earth is flat. Check it out. I don't understand.
Earth is flat too?
Yeah, Earth is flat.
Oh, I want to hear all of them. Tell me more.
Water lays level when at rest.
Yeah?
We're the land of 10,000 lakes, and we have the most objective, observation of lakes. It's always flat.
Uh-huh.
If Earth is 75% flat, what does that make Earth? Mostly flat.
Let's go.
Without regard for the mountains and the valleys and all the other terrain,
Uh-huh.
but if the world is mostly water, it's mostly flat.
How do you do that?
And so it's all just one perpetual lie after another. Earth's gravity is presupposing a round ball. That's why everyone always references gravity.
It's like you don't know how to explain something about the globe model, you just say gravity, right? Yeah. Why does the Earth always look flat, but they say it's curving? Gravity. How does water bend? Gravity. And it's like that doesn't even make sense. They drop something on the floor and say that's gravity. Literally, it's denser than the air, so it drops. If it was lighter than the air, it would go up. It's density, not gravity.
Huh. So then how do we explain like photos of the Earth?
Right, so NASA...
As you're driving away.
Fisheye
bye.
lens. This is a fisheye lens. So everything you see that's flat will look more curved. Those stairs that are perfectly flat, on the footage, it'll look like there's a curve at the edges. They'll be slightly curved.
And NASA admits that your images of Earth from space are CGI computer-generated images, so they're taking sets of data. They don't have a picture of the Earth from outer space. The only time they've ever done that allegedly was during one of the Apollo missions in the 70s. That's the only time. We've never been high enough to take a picture of the Earth in all its glory since then. They literally say we cannot go back to the moon because they destroyed that technology and it's a painful process to build it back again. So think about that. Here we are in 2021 with the most advanced iPhones you can have. The iPhone in your pocket is more advanced than a warehouse of computers in 1960. But they're telling you they can't recreate technology from the 60s and go back to the moon. That's fishy. So then they also
Does that mean the sun is flat too? No.
We don't make claims of things that we can't prove. That's why we're flat.
Because we don't really look in the sky to figure out where we're at on Earth. Because we're focused on here on Earth. So we do all the tests and the science and everything to figure out what we're on. Once we can decide what we know what we're on Earth, then we can figure out what's up there. But the science program wants you to look up and then never figure out where you actually live, because they want you constantly looking up into the sky. And
Do you feel like that's accurate though?
Yes.
It is accurate to look at space to be able to understand here?
No.
No.
What they want to tell you is you can tell it's a globe because you can look up and see other planets, right? That has nothing to do with what this is. We're not just another planet. The Earth.
Wait, where aren't we?
So what you're thinking is like the Earth is what I told you, it's flat. So you're picturing in your mind a flat disk in outer space.
Wait, I'm curious why Earth isn't just any other planet.
Because I'll try to explain it. It's called geocentric, right? So we are the center of the universe. It's not the sun.
Oh, you guys believe we're the center of the universe?
Yes, it's
Oh,
provable.
there's no way. Okay.
No, it's
Did you know Edwin Hubble? You know the Hubble telescope?
I didn't know him.
Well, I mean, but the Hubble telescope is named after Edwin Hubble. He's on record saying it can never be disproven that the Earth is geocentric, or the center of everything, because there's even dispersal in all directions relative to the Earth.
Yeah.
But we avoid that presupposition at all costs because it would show
Except for the Andromeda. That's not dispersing. That's coming towards us.
but all the energy, the background is all dispersing equally in the...
Yeah.
How are we that special?
Yeah.
We're just that special.
That's the thing.
We're on that one planet.
They
don't want you to
we're
think
not
that.
because they told you that the universe is this big and that you're a tiny speck. No.
Does that mean we're the only life in the universe?
Yeah. I mean, no, what's above us, bro? Are we seeing life? You know, we don't know what's up there. It's illegal to go. I mean, they can't go.
They want you to believe in aliens, but something to keep in
I
mind
mean, I
is
don't think it's above. It's all around us.
Well, it would be all around, yeah.
So actually, yeah, what could be all around us is more ocean and more land, and we wouldn't know because we're not allowed to explore that far.
it's
Where
called the Antarctic Treaty.
Because there's an Antarctic Treaty, which
They
it's
want
like
you to think that the United States and Russia and China are like these super enemies about to go to war at any moment. But what they all agreed on in the 50s, before the founding of NASA, was that you, as an independent peasant citizen, are not allowed to go explore the Earth freely. And they drew a line, a circle around you, essentially, and said, stay in your playpen, peasants. Like, you're not allowed to come out here and see what's past Antarctica.
But if it is a globe, isn't it easy to tell what is a southern pole and what isn't? And that there's nothing to see beyond Antarctica except the other half of the hemisphere?
Well, see, there's a problem with that because a very famous Navy admiral named Admiral Byrd, he explored Antarctica and he came back and he said there is a continent the size of the United States on the other side of Antarctica, unexplored, full of resources.
It's a fucking war, dude. It's real. I don't care.
so they can create this idea of false scarcity, and so you have to work for money because there's limited resources, when in reality there's probably unlimited resources, and it's all about just keeping you in line and keeping you on the rat race.
You think there's unlimited resources?
Why wouldn't there be?
They tell you that
Because there's a limit to everything, isn't there?
Is there a limit to human life?
Yeah.
What is it?
When we max out our capacities.
No, because that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that we need to limit the population.
Wouldn't you say there's a limit to like how much Earth could physically sustain? Eventually it would find a cap. I don't know what that cap would be, but eventually it would find a cap.
Well, the idea is that it's a flat surface, so the surface could go on infinitely. You believe the universe, as I'm not saying you believe it, but if you believe the heliocentric mainstream science model, you would believe that the universe is an infinite flat plane. That's what they tell you. So why
They don't tell us that, and I don't believe that,
They
but
do tell us
continue.
that.
That
They do
the
tell us
universe
that.
is flat?
Yes, the universe
The
is
universe
an
is not
infinite
flat.
plane.
No, that's not true.
It is true.
That is not what they
That's
say.
mainstream science.
No, that's not.
100%.
But it's not.
could
They
pull
say
up-
that it's an ever expanding like bulb, and we don't even know how far it
They
goes.
said it was a ball.
Yeah.
The universe
That's
is a ball.
what Men in Black told you. They said it was a little marble that goes in
I've
a
never
bag.
seen Men in Black.
They program
I've never
people.
heard a mainstream scientist say the universe
Yeah, no.
is a ball.
I've never heard of mainstream science that said the universe is
You
flat.
might have to look into it.
Who? Tell me who.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
In what?
Can you
In
help
where?
us out?
You want to hear Neil
I'm
deGrasse Tyson?
so interested.
Saying that you can't see the curvature of the Earth from 63
He's
miles.
saying
No, we're talking about the flatness of the universe.
So isn't it
Yeah,
the
they admit that the
mainstream?
universe is flat.
Who is they and where can I
Every
find this?
astrophysicist that exists.
That's not true. So where can I find it?
What do you mean it's not true? Can you name one that doesn't say that?
Anyone that I've listened, I've
Okay,
never heard
I'll just
a
look it up
single
right now.
scientist
The
say it's
galaxy
flat.
is flat.
I want to hear. I want to
there you
like
go.
look it up. I
Now
want to
let's
learn
see.
more because I find this fascinating and I can't explain it wrong, and it's hard to explain it right. You know?
Yeah, try to think of your favorite proofs that
Exactly.
help you sleep at night.
And
to-
so I am fascinated. I would love to learn more about it.
Yeah, it's like a flattened letter S, the Milky Way galaxy, right? It's a disk that's notably twisted at the edges. It's like a flattened letter S.
Wait, are we talking about galaxy or universe?
Well, what part of the universe is it flat?
Wait, no.
Why
I'm
are
confused.
galaxies flat? It says that all the galaxies are flat.
We were talking about the universe. I
But
thought.
how can all the galaxies
galaxies
be
are
flat
flat?
in a universe that's a ball? That's like people who say, how is the horizon always straight and horizontal and flat, but a bunch of those make a ball?
Well, then how can something flat have more things that are on top of it? Wouldn't we all just be squished into like an infinitely
So there's a dome.
singularity that's
there's
like
a
flat?
firmament. There's a firmament dome.
Yeah, you
over
gotta
top.
reconsider how you're looking at everything. The stuff you see in the sky is just above you. It's not like you're a little speck of dust inside of it.
So flat isn't like a singularity. Flat's more of like a range, like a top and a bottom somewhere.
yeah.
You mean like of the Earth?
No, the universe.
Well, yeah, according to your paradigm of the globe Earth, they're relatively flat.
So
Right, it's
relative can vary then a
Well,
lot.
not very much. It's relatively flat.
But we can't.
I mean, your fairy tale is just a shit show.
I just want to know what should I go like watch then? Like what can help me prove this so that I can understand
That the
more?
Earth is flat?
Yeah, no, the universe is flat. That we're all living in
you
like
would
a
just
disc.
you'd still be believing a lie because
No, where can I learn more?
about the truth.
I'm like listening to you. Like, so where can I go learn?
What about
more?
level? Level?
There's a documentary called Level you can watch.
Level? Okay.
Yeah, level.
Yeah, and
Okay.
also on that card, I'll give you another one, but there's like there's an
Would
app.
you have a pen? I can.
Well, look, just scan this, bro. It's going to show you Flat Earth
Oh, it will.
app. Yeah, you can actually go to your app store and type in Flat Earth, but that'll take you to the Flat Earth app, to a Discord, to my YouTube, everything. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
Well, I mean, everything sounds crazy until it's proven.
Like it literally sounded crazy to each of us when we first heard it, to the point because we were someone who was looking into the truth and conspiracies, but we heard flat Earth and we thought that was stupid, right? So we went home, researched it, tried to debunk it ourselves. That's when we realized we were in trouble because you can't debunk it.
And you're actually a little disadvantaged compared to us because they now censor it so hard. Like when I found out about it, YouTube would actually start recommending it based on my search history. Now, if you Google Flat Earth or YouTube it, you will not find one real video. It'll be all misinformation, all hit pieces. If you Google my channel, you typically don't find it. Like it's super shadow banned now. That's why I have to hand out the cards just so people.
Interesting.
They admittedly censored it in government.
They admitted it in Congress. But see, that app is really useful because if you can press the question mark button, and so like any question you have, like when you fall off or whatever, like what about satellites, right? Any question you can think of, it has the YouTube videos linked that are shadow banned, right? So it's
Wait,
like
so do Flat Earth believe in like a Big Bang that started the universe?
No, but that was proposed by a Catholic priest.
The Big Bang's ridiculous.
It was proposed by George Lamonte, a Catholic priest.
What is the Flat Earth belief of like the start
It had
of
to
the
be
universe?
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in like a higher power then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool.
There has to be a higher.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know this. There's so much.
You agree though, is like if it does have huge implications, right? Like if the Earth's the center of everything, it had to be great.
And Earth is then the center of everything.
Yeah, it's like the basement. Think of that as like the basement, and everything's revolving around us. Like the stars, they go around the pole star, Polaris, in a perfect circle for all recorded history. They built megalithic structures.
But isn't that only to like our perspective of like our axis and our tilt?
But then it would change over time. Because we're spinning and revolving and shooting through space.
But it does change over time.
It doesn't.
Polaris hasn't always been the North Star.
That's what
Wait,
you've
but
heard.
it hasn't.
That's what you've heard. So what's the evidence?
The evidence that like people in the past have recorded other stars as the North Star.
Yeah, there's one civilization that supposedly recorded a different North Star, the pole star.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every other civilization said it was the North Pole Star, Polaris, in the same area. But they'll just talk about the one because they want to say which is close. It's close to the Polaris.
So then we just okay. So we
They
just
just do
discredit
the
that
same
one, or
thing.
like what do we do with that one?
No, they were just. You think that they were right, but the other hundreds were wrong?
No, what if everyone has a correct opinion?
Well, they can't both be right about the North Pole Star.
Wouldn't it just prove that it's shifted then?
No, if one of 100 said that it was this one, and the other 100 said it was still the same one it is today, I'm going to go with the. And actually, they didn't even account for Polaris. They had a more primitive star map.
Weren't they older though?
No, they're around the same era.
Around or the same era?
Yeah, around the same era.
Around and the same, are there
some
different?
more ancient civilizations didn't say it was gold, and they had.
Who are the some more ancient?
I can't remember their names. Like the Chaldeans knew that. That's 2500.
Because I can't just believe your opinion of someone. I need something to
the
look
Chaldeans
up.
from 2500 BC. I don't know how old are
So
you?
I'm thinking about 40,000 BC is when they recorded a different North Star, and that's when other sun, what do they call it? The summer solstice and stuff are different based on when the Earth was tilted.
Yeah, you're saying there's a civilization from 40,000 years ago?
Oh, well, all right, so I guess that probably doesn't make sense to you then. That,
No.
When do you believe society
It
started?
probably doesn't make sense. Even your side doesn't say that.
Wait, when do you believe humanity started?
You can't verify anything past like 7,000 to 10,000 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like even your side doesn't say that there were civilizations 40,000 years ago, like people that had civilized data.
Well, I mean, there is.
They don't claim that.
But like
Your side
using,
doesn't claim
using
that.
your
there
logic,
is. I don't
right?
know what to say.
But using your logic, almost every ancient civilization thought the Earth was geocentric and flat with a dome over it.
Yeah.
So if you're cherry picking one civilization to pick out, well, they said the North
What
Star
does
was
the dome over it mean?
It means we're literally in an enclosed system. That's why you have pressure.
What's the dome? A dome over just Earth or like the whole universe?
It's over the Earth. We don't know how high it goes. You can't even legally travel that high. Illegal.
What's like below us? Then? Is there nothing below us?
The deepest hole ever dug is 7.8 miles. Called the borehole in Russia.
So when you go to the southern like hemisphere, then what are you looking at?
You're just going out further away from the sun.
But the stars are different.
Yeah, but they all move east to west. They all move the same direction.
But like the North Star here in the northern hemisphere is not the North Star in the southern hemisphere.
Because you get so far away, you can't see it.
No, like none of the stars in the northern hemisphere are the same as the southern hemisphere.
Because you get so far away that you can't see the center of the stars anymore.
But even if you were in Florida, you could still see the stars that are all the way over in Taiwan because you're still in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, it's like as you get further away from the center, you get so far away you can't see the northern stars anymore. That's all it is.
But it's not a distance because even if you went from Colombia to Ecuador of only, 1,000 kilometers, stars would be different.
Like for example, if the North Pole starts here and you go really far in this direction, right? You can't see all the North Stars all the way on the other side of the Northern Hemisphere. You can't see all the stars.
Well, that would depend on your longitude that you're moving.
Or your latitude.
Your latitude, you would always see the same stars as long as you're still in the northern hemisphere, wouldn't you?
No,
because if you're in Florida or Taiwan or anywhere along that northern hemisphere border, you would still see the same stars.
Yeah, you can only see the stars based on how far away you are. So okay, what you're basically saying is that the reason you can't see the stars in the northern hemisphere anymore is because you're on the other side of the ball, right? And that's you're looking in different directions south, right? But actually, say that you have the star in the center, then you're going to go far away from it. You can't see past the North Pole star all the way to all the stars that are in the northern hemisphere. You can't see all of them. You can only see so far. So
have you been to South America? So, okay. So you've never seen like that a different view of the universe that you can't see from here.
No,
because from here, you can't. There's no such thing as a North Star because in the southern hemisphere, there is no north. They only see southern stars. They see
too far away.
Yeah.
It's too far away to see.
That's
so
interesting.
think about it like this, how we always see the moon the same way here in North America. So draw a circle, and then put a dot on it, and then put it up on the ceiling, and then have one friend stand here and another friend stand here, and then look at the object, the piece of paper on the ceiling. One person will see the dot on the left side, and the other person will see the dot, no dot, right? Because it's about perspective.
I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm saying none of the northern hemisphere stars are going to appear if you're on the southern hemisphere. None. Now, I'm not saying it's going to look different. I'm not saying you're going to see a different perspective. They don't exist. You can't see them. There's a curvature, and you can't see beyond that curvature because you're on the southern hemisphere.
Actually, there are people that...
And I just don't know how you explain that, because I've been on both sides. I've seen... Because I love space. I love how we can see the Big Dipper, Little Dipper, how we have all these northern constellations.
Year after year, that reset perfectly.
And when I was living in Brazil, you don't have northern constellations. You don't have Big Dipper, Little Dipper. They don't exist. I talked to them about a northern star. It doesn't exist to them.
Yeah, but
and it's just curious because if you're flat, you would still always be able to see something. It would just look different.
Well, you'd eventually get so far away you can't see it.
But we're on the Earth. How big are we? You can't say that we're so big you can't see something.
You can't see the...
We're talking about space. It's infinite. I can see millions of light years away, and you're saying I can't see something from just a couple 100,000 kilometers.
First of all, I don't even claim anything millions of light years. They don't even claim that. They claim
I
thousands
appreciate the opinion. I appreciate
where
you guys are coming from.
With the stars. Listen.
But you guys lost me because you can't explain this.
Yeah, you can't explain
this. This sounds so silly now.
And you need to listen.
This distance thing doesn't...
Now you're getting cognitive bias.
You understand? Listen to this question. So if you can see the North Pole star, on the other side of the equator, so you're supposed to be below a ball. So if I go below the ball and I can see the North Pole star, how's that work?
You can't, and that's what I'm telling you. When you're on the southern, you can't see the North Star.
So you agree that if you can, then that debunks the globe?
Yes.
Okay, you literally can. You literally can.
Please show me, please. I want to see.
Oh,
I want to see.
You can see it from a country up to a point.
You should have brought this up 10 minutes ago. I want to see it.
Right below the equator, you can see it. They say it's because of refraction.
Show me then. I want to do this.
I'm not live anymore.
Show me I'm wrong.
But like your star equation in your head would trump the idea of the Earth being flat because there's no measurable curvature on the surface.
Well, it would just at least mean that there's like a top of the Earth and the bottom of the Earth. Like even if we are still flat, then like at least there's like a top and a bottom of it. Like I don't know.
If conditions are just right, you can see Polaris from south of the equator. Although Polaris is known as the North Star, it doesn't precisely move above the North Pole. And Polaris would have a declination of exactly 90 degrees.
Well, we need more than just a quick Google answer. We all know that Google confirms our confirmation bias.
Dude, not when it comes to flat Earth, brother. This is your model trying to explain why you saw it. Astronomy.com.
Okay, so what am I looking at?
They're going to say it's because is Polaris visible from any latitude south of the equator. If conditions are just right, you can see it, and they're going to say it's because of refraction. So you're on the other side of a ball, and the curvature should physically block it, but we saw it, so they said, oh, well, really, it's just refraction, it's bending it around the ball.
You might be right.
I know. Hey,
you might be on it.
You seem open-minded.
You might be on it.
Yeah.
I'll go look that up.
Look it up. You know,
I'll go look it up.
You
might be on it, though.
It's great to be right, but, you know...
It's the
hey,
craziest
you
thing.
guys, I applaud you for being out here, for preaching your stuff, for doing what you love to do.
You have his information?
Yeah, I got it.
Or whatever? Okay, man.
I love it, you guys.
Yeah, stay open-minded, bro.
For sure. Always. That's all we can ever do.
For sure.
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Stay out of the
More questions, bro.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good night.
All right, D-Live. What's going on?
Turn this off.
Mr. Clam? Yep. So, what's up, everybody? Make sure to check us out tomorrow. We're going to be